We have already talked about how the ductus venosus and the right hepatocardic channel and the left umbilical vein are in alignment so as to allow the passage of blood from the left umbilical vein to the right horn of the sinus venosus, that is right hepatocardic channel. Now we are going to talk about the vitelline veins. So this is the duodenum, this one is liver, and outside the substance of the liver we have the right and left vitelline veins arranged around the duodenum. These right and left vitelline veins are responsible for the formation of portal vein. How they are formed, I'll tell you. See, these two are separate veins. There is no communication between these two veins. So in order to establish communication between the two veins, there has to be some kind of anastomosis. Now three anastomoses develop. One is proximal, one is distal, and another one in the middle. So the proximal and distal are the ventral anastomoses. Proximal and distal ventral anastomosis. Whereas the middle one is the dorsal anastomosis. So I have shown it in dotted line because it is dorsal, so it is not seen completely. And I have shown it with the dotted line. Now what happens next is two small veins caudal to the dorsal anastomosis towards the left vitelline vein attach. These two have been named as, you can see here, splenic vein and the superior mesenteric vein. So if you recall the gross anatomy of the portal vein, you will see that there is splenic and the superior mesenteric vein, and they unite to form, as you go upwards, they form the portal vein along with the right and left branches. So this is how the splenic and the superior mesenteric vein attaches caudal to the dorsal anastomosis towards the left side. Right? Now if you see the portal vein, it was something like this. This is how the arrangement is. There is splenic and superior mesenteric. Whereas this one is the right branch and this one is the left branch of portal vein. This was the adult pattern. In order to achieve this pattern, something has to disappear and something will remain. So what will happen is, the structures which disappear first is part of the left vitelline vein distal to the attachment of splenic and superior mesenteric vein. Part of left vitelline vein distal to the attachment of splenic and superior mesenteric vein. So this will go whole of it. Then this distal ventral anastomosis as a whole will go. Distal ventral anastomosis. Part of the right vitelline vein beyond the dorsal anastomosis. Part of right vitelline vein distal to the dorsal anastomosis. Right? And part of the left vitelline vein between the proximal ventral and dorsal anastomosis. Part of left vitelline vein between proximal ventral anastomosis and dorsal anastomosis will disappear. So if I show it with these lines, you can make out that these parts are not there. Now the portal vein will be formed by the splenic and the superior mesenteric vein, part of the left vitelline vein between the dorsal anastomosis and the attachment of the splenic and superior mesenteric, right? Dorsal anastomosis as such, and the part of the right vitelline vein between the dorsal and the proximal ventral anastomosis. Then whole of this vitelline on the right side will remain, and the proximal ventral anastomosis as such will remain. So this is how the portal vein is formed, like this. Splenic and superior mesenteric, this one is part of the left vitelline vein between the dorsal anastomosis and the attachment of splenic and superior mesenteric. Dorsal anastomosis as such, part of the right vitelline vein between the proximal ventral and the dorsal anastomosis, whole of the proximal ventral anastomosis, and a part of this right vitelline vein entering into the substance of the liver. All these will form the portal vein as such. Now, we have seen that the right and left branches of the portal vein are there. How they are formed? So this one is, fifth is right branch of portal vein. Whereas the proximal ventral anastomosis along with the remaining part of the left vitelline vein will form the left branch of portal vein. What happens is, when you see this is the developing liver and inferior vena cava, that is the right hepatocardic channel with the ductus venosus and the left umbilical vein, as we talked in this previous video. So this left umbilical vein will enter into the left branch of portal vein, and whole of this will drain into the right hepatocardic channel through the ductus venosus. That is how the portal vein is developed. I hope it is clear to you all.